Hello and welcome to Dawn's FSD Challenge Run number 3, made on April 29th, 2020, with version 10.2, subversion 2020.12.6. This version brought the ability to detect and act on stop signs and traffic lights. It did not, however, add the ability to do that without interaction. You still have to act, you have to acknowledge every single uh, traffic control that you approach, and the car cannot turn or otherwise make a maneuver as a result of any of those activities. The primary goal of this version was clearly to begin to use the power of the crowd to teach the neural network and confirm its ability to see and appropriately detect the state of these traffic controls. Autopilot sees the traffic light, going to come to a stop. It shows it as yellow. Oh, that's interesting. Hadn't noticed that before. The signal, the little warning thing in the bottom, if you hadn't noticed that, does show it go from green to yellow to red as to what status it thinks that signal is in. All right, acknowledge, it will go again. We have our stop sign up here. It detects it, and it will come to a stop. So far, so good. See what the white line, the red line, there we are. I'll just acknowledge, and it will go again. When watching this video, it's always important to remember that the route is designed to challenge the FSD software stack and demonstrate where areas of improvement are needed. The route over time will also document improvements and capabilities for the stack so that we can see it improving before our own eyes. With those caveats out of the way, let's jump in and take a look at how Gracie did on the 23 challenge points of the FSD challenge route, which you can see here. Again, it's a 100-mile loop around Washington, D.C., Northern Virginia, and Maryland, and has a number of interesting challenges to it. Here are the symbols and terminology I'll use throughout the rest of the video. As we jump into challenge 1, there were no big changes here. It can't do this challenge yet. Challenge number 2 turns out to be a routing error. Let's take a look. Come on. But here, notice it's going to go left. We want 395 north, so I'm going to go ahead and break out here. This is where routing should really take us. And once we do this, we'll see that there's no problem getting onto 495 north when you don't take the wrong way on. For challenge 3, nothing really new here. No down traffic, so it's probably going to do pretty well here. Perfect. You may remember that in previous runs, Gracie has not done very good in the merge on to 395 north here. She usually handles this this curving exit ramp / on ramp pretty well, but the merge she's struggled with. So let's see how we do here today with the new navigation. Again, we got a little bit of interesting traffic here for the merge. Let's see what she does. I'll have to be paying attention here in case I have to take over. Right now it looks like she's got a place to merge in. Let's see how she does here. She's adjusting her speed. Nice, very nice. No signal though. She slid to the right a little bit again. She's got her turn signal on. But that was pretty good. That was a nice, smooth merge, even though she did creep to the right. All right, just going to try to move over here because the truck is a little slow. Let's capture the dash cam there. Oh, she's going to go to the faster lane yet again. That's fine. Oh, she went up to 70. That's why. The car thinks that it's 65 here on 395. To the best of my knowledge, it is not. I have confirmed that the navigation update, the mapping update, fixes this issue through here, so she now gets in the right lane, in the correct lane, to move through here. So we see here changing lanes to follow route, which is what she should do. Now she's in the right place, and this is a big change, so it's small in the grand scheme of the overall advancement to full self-driving, but this is really pleasant to see. This new stoplight and stop sign detection algorithm is, I think at this point, calling it beta is like really, it's really hardly even beta. What we're really doing is we're training the neural net so that when they release the new versions for broader use, that it will eventually be able to make that decision on its own, and you would just override the decision whether to continue through in the case where it gets it wrong. But right now it's literally using every one of these accelerator pushes or stock pulls as a confirmation. Internally inside the computer, you can be guaranteed that the computer is making a prediction whether they can go through this intersection or not, or through this traffic control or not. And then they use our manual override or confirmation to as a validator to what their decision was. I'm going to acknowledge, oh, this will be interesting. I acknowledged with the stock pull. Let's see what it's going to do here. Yep, so even though it was green when I said yes, and then it turned yellow, it caught that. Again, I'm not doing anything here. The car is just stopping. It's doing that nice and smoothly in this case. No real problems there. Now, before I can go again, like the light will turn green here, I have to give it an acknowledgement to go. Notice on the center binnacle display we have much brighter traffic signals. The lights are much brighter now. They now show turn arrows if it can detect that. And it has the red threshold line as to where it plans to stop. All right, so I'm just going to acknowledge. Then it's going to take off on itself. Again, I'm not pressing the accelerator. This is the car doing its own thing here. I'm really interested to see how long it's going to take Tesla to figure this little intersection out. There's just no signs at all that there's a change. And again, I'm just going to let it go a little bit. Going to let it go a little bit. No, it just has no idea. All right, this just never works, so I'm going to be ready to take over any second here. Did pretty well up to there. We just got to go left here, though. Let's see. Let me go back in, drop right back out again. Let's get over here. It seems like it waited a little longer before it moved over to the left lane. That's kind of nice. Maybe they're changing that algorithm a little bit. For Challenge 12, Gracie did really well overall. She handled some encroaching cars with dexterity. She did some nice lane changes, but she failed here because there was a lane closure related to construction. She was in the right-hand lane and completely was unable to adjust to that, and it would have been a really bad scenario in an FSD situation. Let's take a look. Slid right again. It really doesn't do a great job of determining when that's just like a temporary wide lane. Oh, what are we gonna do here? What do we do? Oh, geez. I had to take over there. It was looking like it was gonna hit those cones. There was no one beside me, but I don't know if it knew that truck was over one lane. That VW began to encroach in the lane and it slowed down. That's good. Oh, not very graceful on that exit. It obviously did it, but let's see how we do through this little odd section again where speed limits drop even further, but people don't, and there are speed traps. So this whole segment again is not particularly hard for the car to drive, but it's just the discrepancy between what people do on this road. Just hold this here. What people do on this road versus what is allowed to be done on this road. It's just it's got its own whole culture to this road. Lane, obviously. Gracie will probably move to the right, away from cones. Yep, that's fine. She can't do it because the car is right here, so she's just going to keep plugging away. That's actually a bit of an improvement. Previously, the car would just slow way down until she could get over. So I actually did a pretty nice job there. Just tucked right in behind someone slower. She could have obviously gotten into the lane there, but she waited for this car. It's just not very human-like in that regard. Challenge 16 remains very problematic, largely due to routing problems. There were some improvements with the new updates and the new mapping update, but it still cannot complete this in any kind of way you would like to. Let's take a look. All right, so we'll probably see the navigate on autopilot ending here. Sure enough, there's the 600 feet. So we'll wait till it ends. It'll drop back to autopilot, at which point I should be able to initiate this lane change manually. And in and out of navigate on autopilot, and it'll drop back into navigate on autopilot here in a second. Oh, well, how about that? It didn't know what to do, but it went straight. So I'm going to go back in. So now navigate on autopilot. See where we go here. So the next route it wants me to do is go up onto Lee Highway, which is what I do not want to do. I'm going to manually get into this lane and see if it'll hold. So I was able to force it to not take the exit, so it canceled. It's trying to change lane, still can't, so I'm going to cancel that again. Now it's trying to go down to 45 miles an hour, and then it's all whacked up. So I can go back in here, back up to 60. Now I'm on 66, and it's, yeah, go that way. So just, again, very confusing. It's better. It's definitely an improvement over what it was before, but it's still not correct, and it still gets very confused. All right, so let's see how she does today. So we really should be over a lane already. That's effectively the exit has already happened here, but we do still have the small dashed line, so we're still okay. Does think it wants to make the turn in 0.7 miles. Upcoming lane change. It's just, should have done it already, but so here we are. So we are executing it, and it completes just as the line turns solid. So it's really a last second exit, but at least makes it this time. So it's an improvement. Okay, we're in a easy pass only lane. That's good. We're cruising along here. So far, no indications that it sees any traffic control. What's it going to do? Not going to slow down, but it is going to continue through. There it goes. So it saw it at last second. Still does a nice job. Not a nice job. How are we doing through here? Where's it going to go? Well, there you go. Again, really surprised how well it does through there. Of course, I would like it to slow down a little bit. But after that toll booth, there are no lane markings for a couple of 100 yards. And it just kind of does the best job it can. So navigate on autopilot's going to end here. So now we're just back in autopilot mode. I'm going to hold as long as I can here. See what, okay, so it sees the signal. I'm going to let it just slow the car down a little more. A little more, a little more, a little more, a little more. Oh!
does not know about it, does not know about it. So brake out there. I'm just gonna drive around it. So it's still a complete unknown to the car. See what the white line, the red line, there we are. I'll just acknowledge and it will go again. The car's here, it slid back to the left, so that's good. Nice job. Very comfortable coming across a pretty narrow set of lanes there, actually. Very nice. And then we've got this crazy intersection again here. I have to brake out because I need to be on the left here, but the car is stopping still. That's good. And so I will acknowledge just to show that at one of the downsides at this point, as soon as you acknowledge it, will go no matter what. So now we got to creep out here. Here we have to turn left, so I'll brake out quick, get in this lane, and then try to re-engage. Sees the signal, sees the left turn as red, where it sees the two right green. Very nice. So it detected my left turn one as being red, and the right ones, the main lanes being green. Very nice. You can see that on the displays. Even though I'm fairly occluded with this big SUV in front of me, the car still is able to detect the red light on the turn signal, or on the left-hand turn light. Okay, now we got green. Go. Use accelerator or stalk to continue. So, yep, there we go. And of course, I will have to turn here. All right, and go back in. Good. Autopilot, I may have to just brake out here because the bridge is designated 25. Oh, that was not good. Lost the lane there. But interestingly, it's going to stay in this lane. It really should be to the right. And I don't know what this car is going to do for me, so I'm going to brake out here. This has always proved a little interesting too. Not great lane markings, a little ridge to go over. I'm going to acknowledge the traffic light so it can go through. It's always a little scary. Oh, just broke out there. Just not quite sure what it's going to do there. And now that we're in this lane here again, it's just not going to ever get over, so it doesn't ever get out of the fast lane. So I'll just manually execute that. have that weird speed change there again, dropping back to 25 miles an hour when everyone else is doing 60 or faster. Could be signaling already, a little late on the signal, but pretty good. How's she do here? Much better. I still wish Tesla would improve the lane change, where if it detected a car approaching from the rear or on the side, that it would wait to start the lane change until that car had cleared. This is a very non-human way to make a lane change, to indicate your change right when someone's beside you or just about to overtake you. Once again, it put its turn signal on just as that big semi was coming up on us. I'm sure he was like, what are you going to do? Are you really going to pull in front of me? Gracie did just fine, but it just, in terms of the communication with other drivers, still leaves a bit to be desired in terms of doing it just right. Let's see if she can get over this time, how she does it. Remember, last time I had to manually intervene. Looks like she's going to be able to do it this time. Good. Plenty of time to spare. She's still going to struggle with these lane splits. They still have not solved that problem. Let's just see how she does here. She'll probably start to the right and then jump to the left. Yep. Ugh. I really wish they would fix that. Very graceful on that exit. It obviously did it, but do you see the flashing lights, bicycle crossing, walk ahead? Oh, it wanted to stop right there. Again, I can, interestingly enough, get back in to navigate on autopilot here. Very surprising that works through here. Ugh, wish it could detect potholes. Can't do that yet. watch for turning vehicles. That's not us. Oh, here we go. So you see the flashing lights, bicycle crossing, walk ahead. Oh, oh, it wanted to stop right there. But what does it do here? So we got people in the lane. Did it see them? It sees the, oh, 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 oh. All right, definitely had to break out there. Oh, we've got a little tractor up here. Let's see what she does. Good. She's going to come to a stop. She gets that. I'll go around her. This Jeep behind me is like, what are you doing?
All right, if you've made it this far with me, let's take a quick look. As you can see, I've given this a pretty bad grade of D minus. And no, it's not because of how things operated on the surface streets. It really was because of the performance on the highway and the inability to get out of the way of a construction zone that closed a lane. That would have been a really dangerous situation. And again, speed management is continuing to be a problem that really is disruptive to others around you. So again, D minus for how this would fare in a full self-driving mode, and really that's still maybe a little generous. As we look at some of the overall comments, you can pause here to take a look at these if you want. But this version really is about training the neural network. So there's gaps and some inconsistencies, but that'll grow with time and get better with time. And the new navigation solves some routing problems, but still many to go. They really are going to have to be much more agile in routing improvements to adapt to what we're finding on the roads and being able to do that. But the final comment here is accurate. I continue to find myself saying wow on many more occasions as the system continues to improve and become smoother and more elegant in what it can do, much more human-like in many cases. So thanks for checking in with me. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope it'll be one more piece of documentation of the transition of automobiles to autonomy. And I look forward to seeing you on future ones. Please like and subscribe and leave a comment if you wish. Thanks so much. Bye.